Hi there, I'm Joey.
I'm Jacob.
And we are watching Star Trek for the first time. Last time on Star Trek, we said farewell to Wesley Crusher, as played by Will Wheaton. I'm sure we'll see him again. We're definitely going to see him again.
If we don't, I'd be surprised.
But yeah, it was a fine... It was a good episode. Go to the last video for the full thoughts. It was a whole process.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we're watching an episode called The Loss. What? Are we going to lose Tasha Yar again? Also, check out the last video for context for that joke. But we're going to see what it's all about. We're going to get into post-episode thoughts in a second. Be sure to join us then. We're about to watch The Loss. Maybe someday I can win. Maybe someday I can have something. Maybe someday I can have an episode I want to actually go back and revisit and rewatch that heavily focuses on a woman that I admire greatly. But maybe I can have that. This wasn't good.
No, unfortunately not.
It's ableist, which I think is that.
I think that's absolutely fair.
Like, oh man, but it is tricky, isn't it? It is tricky. You know, actually, hang on. Here's how I'd actually like to start these post-episode thoughts. Could you do me a favor?
Sure.
And describe yourself to the audience.
Sure. You know what? Yes.
I would love to approach this from your perspective.
Yeah.
So
that's actually a good way to put this.
Go ahead.
I think we might have mentioned this in the past, but this would have been a while ago.
In passing. And definitely haven't gone in depth. Go ahead.
So, the short version, without getting into every medical term involved, is I am legally blind. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people I have found in life do not understand what that means.
Yeah.
That means, in simple terms, that my visual acuity is lower than the average visual acuity, but not so bad that I am functionally blind. Mm-hmm. So that is to say, I also through a lot of my childhood had a lot of contact with the visually impaired and blind community.
Yes.
Which this episode does draw direct parallels to.
Yes. It goes specifically hard at this is like if a regular person went blind.
Or just started losing their vision.
Yeah.
Not even goes completely blind.
Mm-hmm. But those are the terms they put this in. It's just like one of us going blind is what Dr. Beverly Crusher says. And that alone blows my mind. So I'm going to approach this episode on its own terms and say, okay, fine. Let's treat this as a person who is not blind going blind. Let's fucking talk about that. Because what the fuck, Star Trek?
This episode, occasionally, it's not hitting the right notes, but it knows what the wrong notes are.
It does. So, like, let's be fair in one respect. That you, knowing people, like, in the situation that they're describing here, in which like, you know, being like, somebody wasn't blind most of their life, they slowly went blind or went blind almost immediately or something like that. If we're approaching that, like, it's not completely unfair to think that yes, there are people that have gone through that, and with any sort of disability, people that are now wheelchair users, blind people, deaf people, things like that. Any person that was not born that way that eventually became that way, it is fair to say that some of those people, probably a great many, could feel a certain
a certain level of resentment is, in truth, I have seen this.
Exactly.
It is a real normal, sort of normal reaction, because you, to the person it's happening to, you feel as if you are losing a part of yourself.
Yeah.
That is how I have had it described to me.
Yeah.
Because again, I have never actually had that feeling.
Yeah, you were just born.
I have had the same condition my whole life.
Yeah, and so I think, like, and I've heard it like described as like a grieving process almost. You know, this doesn't apply to everyone, of course. Different people deal with it in different ways. But we're talking about a character here that is explicitly drawing this parallel. Explicitly calls herself a disabled character at one point in this.
Yes, that is, like, uses those terms, which makes this a much harder conversation.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it lays it all out on the table. It tells us how to approach this. It tells us how to talk about this. But then we have a fucking scene, like her scene with Riker, when Riker sits in the back all fucking smug, like, oh, well, you just think you're better than us, and now that you're just like the rest of us, like, fucking what?
That was a whole level of not correct and wrong.
Fucking ableist as hell. And also just incredibly out of character for William T. Riker. What the absolute fuck? Just a mind-boggling episode. And of course we have to do the whole, like, oh, we're gonna draw a parallel with our main plotline of the episode. The whole, like, oh, we used to think on a 3D level, now we have to think on a 2D level, you know?
But the episode almost presents that line of reasoning, like, we need to drop the way we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And again, it's a direct parallel. And it's an interesting episode because, like I said, this episode doesn't always know what the right thing to say is. Mm-hmm. It sometimes does. Yeah. Like especially after she's seen Troy is seen by Beverly. Mm-hmm. They're like, we are going to learn to adapt. Adapt is absolutely the right word.
Yeah. There's an anger present though in Troy that I think is also somewhat problematic. That again, while we say like it's not unreasonable to know that people who've gone through this in real life, not losing their empathic powers, of course, but
the direct parallel in this episode is actually drawing.
Well, it's not unreasonable to assume like like someone can react very angrily towards that. It's still it gives off the wrong message. It certainly does, and I think
especially with the way the episode ends. Mm-hmm. I think.
Well, yeah, because there's. Well, first off, like back on the anger, like within her angry yelling at Riker scene, she's like, "I will adapt," and it's like, okay, well, you're telling me two different things here that are actively contradicting each other. And also, the end of the episode just says, "Well, don't worry about it. You could just be not disabled."
And the thing, okay, and this is just me. You're welcome to you, the audience. Anyone's welcome to disagree with me on this. Mm-hmm. I think. Like the way the episode ends, like, so they're dealing with a two-dimensional life form that is potentially virtual particles, mm-hmm. and that's very interesting all on its own, but not the point.
Yeah.
After they get released of the two-dimensional beings, mm-hmm. she suddenly has her power, her abilities back. I was going to call them powers, her abilities.
Yeah.
Her abilities back. And I think abilities is the word I want to use, because she is suddenly like, oh, thank God, I am quote-unquote normal again.
Yeah.
And she's got... And for this character, this is a return to status quo, mm-hmm. you know? So we as an audience should, theoretically, be like, yes, this is good. This is how the episode should end. Mm-hmm. But the character is like, oh, thank God, I am no longer disabled anymore.
Yeah. And also what the ending also does is it kind of robs Deanna Troi and all of our characters from sort of like any sort of from having to actually address the problem, because at the end of the day it says, oh, well, we don't have to actually comment on this because what we're essentially saying is, well, she has her abilities back anyway, therefore she doesn't have to reckon with this quote unquote problem anymore.
Yes.
And I think the only real scene that really nails what the episode kind of should have been about was the first scene with Guinan, which I thought was brilliant. I thought
that was a great
really
scene with Guinan, yeah.
It is Deanna Troi saying, I am less of myself. Again, normal part of the potential grieving process.
Yeah, that is a normal enough thing. I have no real issues with that line of reasoning.
And Guinan just says, no, you can still do what you do. You're just like a normal fucking therapist now, essentially.
Right. You have lost the ability angle to sense that someone is lying to themselves, and you have to now read somebody, like, visually.
Yeah, and Whoopi Goldberg's just fucking great in that scene. She's like, well, how can you tell that? Because you're using your intuition. You're a smart person. You can tell this about me. Like,
you have an actual like, if I remember correctly, she has an actual degree in psychology.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Oh man, just. That's the end of 1990, by the way. This aired on December 31st, 1990.
I remember you saying that the episode would do that. Yes.
Yeah, this is our return from the winter break for TNG season 4, and now we're next time officially going into 91. So that's rather interesting. But man, what a sour note to leave us on. Fuck. One good Deanna Troi episode. I just want one.
It doesn't even need to be like.
Oh, wait, you know what? Actually, hang on. What was the one from season 3?
What happened?
Oh, what was it called? The one with it was the one where the guy escaped from the penal colony and they thought he was crazy. The Hunted. The Hunted. That was good. I remember praising that one specifically for treating Troy with a lot of respect as a character. And not character assassinating her and genuinely just I don't know.
Okay, we want 2.
Okay, I want 2. Give me 2. Anyway, God. Second video in a row I have to say this. If you enjoyed us bitching about Star Trek, we do it a lot more over on Patreon. Patreon.com/BlendedOut Studios. Be sure to support us there. You can get early Star Trek reviews, exclusive Star Trek commentaries, other kind of fun things we do on Blended Out Studios. But if you're not joining us on Patreon, you can just join us next time. Any support is greatly appreciated. Join us next time when we continue Star Trek: The Next Generation. Until then, this has been Joey Morgan.
I'm Jacob.
Goodbye.